giornata and welcome to my channel. My name is Stefania if you're new here. So today we're going to be playing with the Makeup by Mario and Sephora Brush Collection. So I picked up the Complexion collection. I'll be doing demos and comparisons and give you guys my thoughts because I have some thoughts. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you are not already. And let's go ahead and jump in. Hopefully this will stay. Okay, a little bit about the collection. This set was $69. It comes with a powder brush, which says use all over the face to seamlessly set or blend for a makeup flawless finish. Can be used with loose or pressed powders. So that is this brush right here. The foundation brush like who am I talking to? Used to apply cream or liquid foundations for an airbrush finish. This is the foundation brush. Obviously, we'll go more into detail when I'm putting these on my face. The cheek brush, apply cream or powder. This brush right here. Highlight brush, blend cream or powder highlight along the cheekbones, bridge of nose, and Cupid's bow. This one right here. And then the concealer brush, used to apply cream or liquid concealer under the eye or any small areas needing extra coverage. So that one is this little guy. So everything in here says pretty much you can use with cream or powder other than the contour slant brush. So let's get into the demo portion of this video. I do feel like this packaging though, it's very nice and fancy. Like it's a presentation and I like it. And then it has a little message from him. You know, it says he's working on the brush set for a long time because that's just how collabs go. But yeah, it does come with this nice little Sephora and Makeup by Mario pouch, which I kind of like, you know, like I always, I'm going to fake that I travel a lot. I was about to say for when I travel, I don't travel, but in case, this is a nice little set. Okay, so each brush comes with a nice little protector, and then obviously you take it off and it fluffs out. So obviously we're going to start with the foundation brush. It's definitely different than what I would typically use. The brushes have nice weight to them, but like they're fairly short handled. So it all depends on like what you prefer. And this has some glue from the bottom. So I gotta pick that off. But that's gonna drive me crazy. They are shorter and skinny, if that makes sense. So like compared to a normal, like this is a Sephora brush I really like. This is the Pro Buffing brush. And you guys can see like size-wise, these are fairly tiny brushes, like of what I'm used to. So I did kind of play around with it and I was like, okay, it still has weight to it. It's got about Sephora weight brushes. It's not like cheap or like cheaper side like Morphe. It does have a good weight, but tiny, right? Not crazy. Like I'm just like, oh, okay. And then let's go ahead and start applying foundation. But you guys can see like the bristles are very nice and soft, but especially for foundation brushes, I'm used to more like densely packed brushes. So let's go ahead and I'm going to stop talking about them and let's put them on my face. I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I already primed my face, put some correctors in my eye bags, and let's go. So I didn't want to use anything new in terms of like face products because I really just want to see how the brushes work. But yeah, I'm not used to a foundation brush with this much like give. But it does feel nice and soft. I'm going to blend this out real quick and then I'll zoom you in and we'll see if it like has any streaks. I am a foundation brush girl though. I don't generally use a beauty blender for my whole face. All right, I'm gonna go in with one more pump. It definitely, I can work with it for sure, but to say that it doesn't leave, I kind of gotta press and roll it rather than just like going in super quickly like I do with that other buffing brush. Like it definitely can leave streaks if you aren't careful with it. So it's workable, but I'm more about applying my makeup fast, and this I feel like is going to take some time because it is smaller and I think because the bristles are so much longer, it's applying a little streaky, but it's workable. All right, I'm going to try to blend out my cream contour. I feel like that might be better use for me in terms of this brush. I don't feel like it's going to be like a new favorite foundation brush. Like I'm pretty picky about those. I like my Hourglass one, my Artis one, and then that Sephora one are usually like my only three. The Morphe, so the Fat Morphe brush too is not bad, but it's not my favorite. But I feel like I just like something that's a little bit more packed. But for cream bronzer, I mean like cream contour, cream bronzer, this one isn't bad. There is a bronzing brush in the kit, but that's the only one that it says don't like, creams aren't on it in terms of recommendations for it, so I don't want to ruin it. I'm gonna use my Jouer concealer, and what is this shade? This is the shade Cream Cafe. Like I said, I already put my Becca under eye correcting. Yeah, we're not gonna bring this down. This is too light, and I don't want to grab another one. So, concealer brush, I'll say, like concealer brushes aren't my favorite unless they're a lot bigger than this one. Like this one is more like I would spot conceal with it, or like carve out my lid, try to clean up these brows. But in terms of like if you were gonna sit here and do this, like it's gonna take a while. Like you can definitely do it. I mean, it's kind of therapeutic to just sit there and like do this, but who got time for that? Not me. But it is a nice, like, it's nice and flexible. So yeah, I would use it more in terms of like if I was going to do my chin here, or like little tiny areas and do, you know, just cover up some zits, then I would use this brush, or to prime my lids. But I'm gonna do this with a beauty blender because it's gonna take like way too long to do it with this little brush. All right, so next I'm gonna set my face with some Fenty powder. So this is the big powder brush. Very, very nice and soft. I really like how much give it has to it. Like I prefer soft powder brushes. So this one I'm probably most excited for. This one and actually the highlight brush were the two that I was like, ooh, maybe one of those. But yeah, oh, this one feels good. This one I like. Kind of inspect to see if any of the bristles start falling off. Obviously I haven't washed these yet. They just came out today. So I'm interested to see how they turn out after I wash them. But in terms of how it feels, like this one I could see being one of my favorites from the set. Okay, so we have these two brushes. When I look at them, like this is the contour brush and then this is the cheek one. Yeah, they're pretty small. Like, and I don't have a big face. So my one thing is I prefer a larger bronzing brush. Like this, yeah, it will fit into the hollows, but it's gonna take a while to bronze with it. So, and then this one is the cheek brush, which I might actually switch these around or use like the foundation brush as a bronzer one instead after I wash it. Because I don't know, this looks more like something I would use to wipe away powder, like underneath my eyes, not so much a cheek brush, just based on the sizes of these. So some people, like brushes are all preference, but yeah, let's go ahead and we'll dig into this one first. All right, so we're gonna go in with my Caramel Hula. I mean, they do pick up product, that's for sure. Like I'm already like, oh, whoops. How was your guys' Christmas? What did you guys get? Do you guys, I don't ever ask for makeup for Christmas. Like I know I obviously have a makeup problem, but I'm so picky about what I want that I'm just like, nope. Like unless you're gonna get me a like gift card, I just don't like to ask for makeup or even clothes. I'm so picky. I'm the worst person to go Christmas shopping for. I know this. Like if you want to buy me food, that'd be great. All right, just gonna go underneath. I mean, that really wasn't that much time, so I feel like this brush, it's really not bad. I just meant like compared to like what I'm used to like a bronzer brush like this. Like, look at how tiny these are compared to each other. All right, I'm just gonna go back over with the powder brush to kind of blend everything back out together. All right, on the cheek brush, I'm gonna pick up this Charlotte Tilbury Ecstasy blush. Like cheeks, I'm not that picky about because I don't like doing blush. So it's fine for me. But yeah, I will probably not use this one for cheeks. I'll probably use this to wipe away powder. I will say when I was in store feeling them, this one felt, it's still soft, but probably like the least soft out of all of them. Just in case you're wondering. I'm a very like touchy-feely person and trying to make sure I do this a few times just to see if any of the bristles start coming apart. So far I don't have any shedding on my face, which is a good sign. All right, and then this is the final brush of the set. It definitely looks more like an eyeshadow brush. Like I could totally use this as a blending brush, no problem. But it says it's for highlighter. So I will probably use this more for a blending, but I do generally will reach for a highlighting brush. Like I'll use a larger eyeshadow brush anyway. So this brush, I feel like I will like. And this is the Milk Makeup in the shade Iced Flex Highlighters. So I do feel like that applies it nicely. I like the highlighting brush. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of my face and then we'll come back and we will chat and do some comparisons and kind of let you know my thoughts on the overall set. And if you should spend your money. All right, so now that my makeup's done, I have a few thoughts. So there's a few brushes in here that I'm like, oh, I really like that. And then there's a few brushes in here that I'm like, I don't think they're gonna be my favorite. So $69, let's see, that's not like a horrible price considering you're getting 5 brushes. Okay, so when I think of that price, I'm thinking a little bit higher than Morphe, but definitely not like crazy high end, especially with like Fenty. Like Fenty's coming out with brushes. Patrick Ta just came out for a brush. Like a lot of companies are coming out with synthetic brushes like these, but they're like $24 a piece, $22 a piece, which I feel like is a little, like I'm like, I might as well just pay an extra $10 and get my Wayne Goss. I prefer not synthetic brushes for the most part, even though I have a good mix of them. Like my preference is Wayne Goss, Sonia G brushes, and then I have a good selection of like Morphe. I'm getting into Sigma. So brush collection wise, let's talk about the design of these. I like that they have a little bit of weight. They definitely have a tiny bit more weight than like your average Morphe brush. Not a ton, but they more feel like Sephora weighted brushes. I do like the way that the color, the chrome type color, it's nice. You know, that more comes down to a preference wise. I do wish the handles were a little bit longer though. Like, I'm just gonna pick up another one of my Sephora, no, this is a Morphe brush, but you guys can just tell like the length on these brushes, it's a little tinier. Like, I feel like my little kid hands, like they feel a little chubby, but not bad. Like I got used to it immediately, so it just depends on like your preference, but it makes it easy to hold, I guess. So there is that. But in terms of all the brushes, I think I really like the big powder brush. That was one of my favorites, and the highlighting brush. To be honest, these are the two that I'm like, oh, I think I'll like use these in my everyday routine. I obviously do want to check for shedding later, but the other ones, like this actually worked surprisingly well. The contour brush I thought it was going to take forever because I was like, oh, it's a lot smaller. I could compare it to this brush, which is the Morphe E4. So as you can see, it's still quite a bit smaller, but the same exact like shape-wise. I wouldn't say that like these feel extraordinarily soft compared to Morphe brushes. It's about the same in terms of softness. You can tell they're higher end by the way that they're weighted. I feel like that's really the only big difference, but yeah, I am used to larger brushes in general. I'm like, oh, is that for baby face people? Or people that can take a lot of time with their makeup. So the concealer brush is probably one I won't get a ton of use out of. I might switch this one, and I could even switch the highlighting brush to eye brushes, to be honest. Like for spot concealing, that's fine. If I don't ever use a brush to like spot conceal. I just will kind of dab in with my finger. But I will use this and make an effort now that I have it. But the highlighting brush, I feel like it's nice. Like I really like it. I feel like my other ones have kind of gone crazy. They look like the end of a freaking broomstick that's went on a lot of flights or something, because they are definitely frazzled beyond, I mean, they still work, right? These are definitely more scratchy. Like this is nice and soft, but this is the Morphe M510. You can see like the size difference between the two. But yeah, this one's definitely a lot softer than that one. But I would say the most disappointing brush for me was definitely the foundation brush. And I'll use it a little bit more. Like I said, this is my first time, but I just feel like it has too much give to it. Where when I use something that has like, you guys can see like I am like, this is dense. Whereas this one, it's very bendy, floppy. And so it makes it easier to get streaks. So I need to like kind of just practice my application and see if I can get a better base on there. But I know it's not my favorite. Like I have like this one, and like I said, I have quite a few that I can think of, and none of my foundation brushes are this flexible. So kind of depends on your preferences. So for me, most of the brushes are ones that I have dupes for, or like this one is the Jaclyn Hill JH07, and it reminds me a lot of the cheek brush. So even the cheek brush, I might switch it to use for powders underneath my eye and wipe away powders, that kind of thing, more than I would for a cheek brush. But that's just me. It kind of, like I said, it's all preference with brushes. Overall, I wish they came as individuals. If it came as individuals, I would probably purchase the powder brush and the highlighting brush. And then the other ones I'm going to have to use a little bit more. I would say the biggest one I don't like off the bat, which I just don't think I'm going to, is obviously the foundation one. So I like the brushes. I'm not like, oh my gosh, in love with the brushes. I will use them more and kind of give you guys an updated review, but I do like that it comes with a cute little case. Like that's nice. So not that there's much to it. It's just the elastic band that holds your brushes. But overall, I'm okay. I'm on the fence, you know, 69 bucks. It's not cheap, but it's not the most expensive. So I'm going to use them a little bit more and see if they shed, see if I can, you know, get a few different uses out of them compared to what I thought I was going to use this for. Like the foundation brush, I think I might just use it as a cream contour brush because I always need one of those. So, you know, you don't have to do what it says to do, so I might just use them in different ways, and I will definitely let you guys know what I think in a few months after, or at least a few weeks, you know, after like continuously using them. So my first impression, I'm like, they're good. Would I say that they are higher end than normal Sephora collection? No. I think they're still like Sephora collection brushes, which is not saying anything bad about them. It's a step up from like Morphe brushes, but definitely not like high-end brushes. So that is what I think of these. I wish I could say like they're amazing, but I'm trying to be a little pickier in terms of what I'm thinking, and I just spent my own money on this too. So let me know what you guys think. What were your favorite brushes? Did you guys pick up the collection? Did you pick up the sets? Like the eye set, just, it was very basic for me. I'm someone who needs a lot of like little tiny blending brushes. So for me, it wasn't worth it to pick up that one. Not to say I didn't want to, but I was trying to be smart. So let me know what you guys picked up. What are your thoughts? And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Bye guys. So if you're interested,